So gold and silver are doing okay. They're up just a wee bit today. I think gold, as we're recording this, is up $4 and silver's up 18 cents. It's nice. Gold is sitting above 1800. That's a nice level. 1800 is a nice support level. $23 in silver is a bit low, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, I think we're doing okay there. We're not doing horribly. This was really a sideways year, especially in silver. You had two pops. You had a pop last year in both gold and silver because of the pandemic and the reaction, people going to safety in the precious metals. You saw silver go up from what, 10, $11 to what was it, 29 or 30? I forgot what it went to. And then this year earlier with the retail silver squeeze in silver at the end of January, beginning of February, all that offtake of silver from the London market through, SLV, the ETF, we saw incredible demand, physical demand manifest, and we saw silver pop again. So I do think, Elijah, that the younger generations are coming to silver especially more than they are to gold. I just got through talking with Andy Scheckman at Miles Franklin. That video will be up on our channel Thursday evening. And I asked him specifically, tell me about your silver sales. He says about 90 to 95% of what he's selling this year is silver. It's silver, silver, silver. And he said the last 2 years have been the biggest years in his company's history. So what that means is the physical demand is there from the retail side. One thing that we're also seeing is a lot of offtake on the derivative market, the COMEX, of silver out of registered. My good friend and our channel moderator, Michael Sayre, looks at this and puts it out on his Twitter. You guys should go look at that. The registered inventories, or the publicly available inventories of both silver and gold, are coming down, but silver especially. It's being off-taken. Now, is it being off-taken by manufacturers like Apple and Samsung who use silver in all their products, by the EV manufacturers, the car companies, the medical manufacturers, the space industry? Potentially, but it's coming. We don't know. We don't have those transactions, but we see it coming off. So what we're seeing, Elijah, is increasing physical demand. We just had the update in November from the Silver Institute saying they expect to reach record demand in silver again in 2022. We had record demand in 2021 of over 1 billion ounces. We're going to have even more, maybe another 111 million ounces in 2022. Silver Institute called that, nailed it this year. We'll see if their prediction is right for next year. So incredible physical demand. Now, the prices don't reflect that because the derivative markets are only speculative on what they think is going to happen to gold and silver in the next 2 to 3 months. So until we have that big economic event, you're not going to see the prices really rise in terms of spot price. But understand this. The physical demand is through the roof, and it's through the roof on the industrial side for silver and on the retail investment demand side. And with the central banks continuing to buy gold, it's very robust in gold as well. The prices tend to catch up later in the derivatives markets. So I do think we're going to see strong gold and silver prices for 2022 based upon all the data we're seeing. But really what's going to drive the next leg up, and specifically gold and then silver usually follows gold, is going to be that next economic event. So we're going back to what we talked about at the beginning of the presentation. What does the Fed do? How does that affect the equity markets, the housing markets, the bond markets? How those fare in the first quarter, first 4 months of 2022 is going to tell you where gold and silver are going to go for the next 6 months after that. If there's panic in any of those markets because of the Fed decision, or we have some sort of black swan, another Evergrande occur in one of the debt markets around the world, you're going to see gold pop and silver will follow. So pay attention to the economic news the first couple of months of 2022, and that's going to tell you exactly where gold and silver are going to be trading.
Definitely. And I think mentioning the physical demand that we've been seeing, as a licensed broker with Miles Franklin, I've been seeing that demand as well. And we've seen a whole lot of demand. I mean, we've actually seen a lot of supply being wiped out and premiums increasing as well. So, yeah, definitely echoing what Andy Scheckman said, that physical demand is still definitely very strong right now.
Yeah, and guys should go to your channel. And I know you guys have an email and contact information for how to get silver. My conversation, not only Andy, but people who are wholesaling the 1,000-ounce bars in the market, I've made a lot of contacts the last year with that end of the market, are telling me that we're getting tighter in silver and from a physical perspective. So if you guys want your silver, go through this channel, their relationship with Miles Franklin, and get it. My conversations with Andy and the wholesalers lead me to believe we're really getting to a shortage condition. It's not going to happen in the next month or two, but you're not going to have that much longer to get your physical silver. Gold is in more supply. We have gold. Gold's okay. But silver, it's a different story, man. It gets used up industrially and it gets put into landfills, and we don't have as much above ground available. And silver's more affordable to the common man. You see another silver squeeze, you see another big economic event, that may be it for the medium term, for the next 6 months to a year on silver availability, or maybe even more. And we don't have the mine production coming behind it that's as robust as we've had the last 10 or 20 years. So that's the other end of the supply chain that we have issues with. The next time we have a big economic event and silver sells out, we don't have those millions and millions of ounces coming to refresh the market that we had before. We have decreasing overall worldwide silver inventories, proven and probable in the ground. And we don't have the mines over the next 5 to 7 years identified to replace what we're producing right now. This is something that people need to understand. The long-term potential supply shortage conditions in silver are flashing red on the dashboard. So if you want your silver, work with Elijah, work with Miles Franklin to get it now. Because, this time next year, are we going to have $23 silver with relatively low premiums? I don't think so.
I think it's so interesting because I know last year around the beginning of the year, a lot of financial institutions were making predictions for silver around $40 and $50. We didn't see that yet. Do you think they were maybe just early on their predictions?
I think they were looking at fundamentals, Elijah, but I don't think the derivative markets follow fundamentals on it. I mean, they do, but until, like I said, we have that next economic event, which drives the next shortage, and then I think you'll see it. I think we were all ahead of the game there. We saw a silver squeeze, you saw what happened last year with the pandemic and the effect on the silver price. And we're like, okay, it's ready to go. And then we also looked at economic fundamentals to say, okay, 2021 is a year. We were a little early on that call. But I do think legitimately we're getting in that situation. I know people think that we're crying wolf here because we went at Gold Silver Pros, and my days of writing Seeking Alpha, I've been talking about shortages upcoming the last 10 years. And they've taken that amount of time to finally get to this condition. But we are condition red. I mean it. We are condition red. The next time that we have a run on physical silver, and it could be a 3-day run like we saw in late January, February, 110 million ounces. The next 110 million ounce run, we're very low at that point with not a lot of production coming. That's when you're going to see silver pop. You'll see gold pop too, because the condition that causes people to go into silver will cause people to go in gold. But you'll have more available gold. So right now, if you're a gold and silver investor, invest in silver first, in my opinion. That's what I do. And then invest in gold after. There's more stock available of gold. That's my approach, because the supply conditions in silver are really very dire compared to gold.
I think with silver, it's a very interesting situation right now, and a very, I guess, positive investment thesis, because at the same time, you're looking at one of the most stable assets throughout history. It's always had value. It's a safe haven. So it has that safe haven status, but it also has the incredibly bullish fundamentals of the industrial use and as you mentioned, the possible shortages in the future.
Silver is the most unique asset class I've ever analyzed. I was in real estate for 18 years. I wrote about stocks for 12 years, so syndicated all across the internet. I had at one point 4 financial licenses, Series 3 for commodities and Forex, 6, 63, and 7. So I was a fully licensed broker. So I understand, the way the markets work. I've never seen an opportunity like silver ever in my lifetime. It is the most unique investment proposition I've ever seen, which caused me to go focus on gold and silver a couple of years ago when I started Gold Silver Pros. I looked at this and said, this is ridiculous. I honestly think in my opinion, if you're looking for the next big investment, with all due respect to the cryptos, it's not cryptos, it's going to be silver. Silver's the next big one. And I don't think we have that long to wait. I honestly don't. Maybe a year, maybe 2 before this all plays out, in the big bull market that we want to see in gold and silver, specifically silver. But I don't think we have that much time left, relatively speaking. And what we need to do is especially teach the younger generations this. I think my generation, Gen X and the baby boomers, kind of know, because we kind of remember gold and silver in our money, and we remember the Constitution. The younger guys may not know this. They live in a world of now crypto and fiat dollars since 1971. So we really need to get the word out to them. They're the ones that are probably the most underrepresented in precious metals ownership, but they're the ones that stand to lose the most.